We're born in the moonlight. Ain't a fan to say. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello beautifuls, this is Aromie here and welcome back to Changeling. I really tried to look up on the guide that they gave me if there were anywhere that would say how many chapters are in each route, but it didn't. It just told me like the length of how many endings, how many CGR, and how many word counts there are, and like the estimation of how long we should be playing, how long it would take to finish each route, friendship or romance. So I didn't want to look further down the choice lines to see, because that would be spoilers. So literally, literature was becoming one of my favorite parts of the day. I managed to hit this pleasant sweet spot between being totally normal and just a little weird. Since there were so many club members in it, I couldn't exactly spend it forgetting about the paranormal, but I got to see everyone behaving like normal students, which honestly was kind of cathartic. It helped me convince myself that everything I was doing through was normal in its own way. And listening to Mark and Elliot struggle to read one of Shakespeare's romance comedies together would have been funny on its own. But it was so much more entertaining every time I thought about them both being vampires, intimidating creatures of the night, bloodsuckers, apex predators that could have devoured a grown human. Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains, I snickered softly. I took no more pains for those things than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come. I had no idea how Mark ended up playing a female lead this time, but that made it so much more entertaining somehow, not to mention the way he deadpanned every single line. Then he leaned across his desk to me, giving me the usual smile. Oh, you're so cute. I wonder how painful it was to choke that line out just now. I laughed, resting my head on my hand. I can't decide. Head on my hand, right? Yeah, okay. I can't decide if it's painful or amusing to listen to them. I shot him a grin. He just laughed. Still, I like this play better than the last one. A Midsummer Night's Dream, I don't disagree. It was never a favorite. Besides, I kind of can't help but roll my eyes a little now. Seems like he was pretty far off in his interpretations of fairies. Real fairies are nothing like that. The only thing Shakespeare got right was the part where they were troublemakers, looking at all the trouble that stupid Brownie was causing with his antics. Not to mention the time there was a sharp pain in my temple as the thought vanished before it could even form. The time what? There's something about fairies causing trouble, a thought or a memory, but it was gone now. I gripped my forehead, trying to rub the pain away. Michiko, are you okay? I looked up at him, still half covering my face with one hand. I think so, just a sudden headache. Danny's eyes suddenly went wide. Michiko, keep your face covered. What? Without answering, he stood up, dragging me to my feet as well. Just hold on, I'll take you to the nurse. What are you... What's wrong with my face? Am I having a nosebleed or something? Danny pushed my head down as he wrapped an arm around me and shielded me from view of the rest of the class. Danny? Oh, am I turning? Is my hair turning? I hissed his name, but he herded me to the door, looking over his shoulder. She's not feeling well, Miss Roberts. I need to take her to the nurse. He didn't wait for an answer as he pushed me into the hall and away from the class. Behind us, I could hear the murmurs from everyone else. Danny, what's going on? We need to get you to the club room for now. Come on. He's in a rush, to be honest. I'm not gonna question it. Follow him. I still didn't understand what was happening, but I kept pace as he practically dragged me to the stairs. What's going on? I had just looked up at him and wait. I pulled my hand away from him, clutching it to my chest as sudden realization hit me. Danny stopped and looked back. The glamour was the glamour thing again. That's definitely what it was. Panicked, I bolted away from Dan to the nearest bathroom. Michiko, wait! He was coming after me, but I wheeled around a corner and snatched open the bathroom door, rushing inside before he caught me. Fortunately, it was empty as I slid to a halt in front of one of the mirrors, gripping the sink tightly. And there, staring back at me from the glass, were a pair of icy blue eyes that wavered and vanished almost instantly. Blue eyes? Then it was just me there, staring back at myself, pale and scared. So it was the glamour. And if Danny hadn't been the one sitting next to me, someone else would have seen it. That would have been so freaking to see. I would be like, the first thing I thought of is like, if you guys watch the Scooby-Doo movie when they were in Spooky Island, when Freddy, his eyes were like flashing green because he was like one of those weird alien things. I thought of that. Why? White hair, blue eyes. What the heck? What next? Horns? A tail? Sparkling wings? That was going to be hard to explain to my mom, not to mention the whole shirt issue. I glared at a reflection and blew a block of hair out of my eyes. Knock it off, you. I don't have time for this. Can you just do it? Not in school hours. Not that I knew how to knock it off. Ugh, what now? This made the second occurrence of my apparent glamour spell slipping. What did I look like under the illusion? I didn't want to think about it. And I ran off like an idiot again. I needed to stop being a drama queen about this. I pushed the door open and peeked out into the hall. To my surprise, Danny hadn't followed me. Not that I needed him to, but it was kind of unlike him to just let me run off like that. I frowned as I headed back to the stairs. Or maybe I should go back to class. Then again, that would look weird since Danny had dramatically declared I needed to go to the nurse. What happened to Sean? You guys can't see Sean. Hold on. Look at Sean. He's beat up. As I approached the stairs again, I could see exactly why Danny hadn't followed me. Sean and Derek were there with him, and Sean looked awful. Well, by now, if I didn't know who Derek and Sean was, the game officially told me Sean looked awful, and he's the only one that's beat up. He had clearly gotten into some sort of fight. Given the way he was leaning on Derek, I assumed it wasn't with him. Danny looked concerned as well, as Derek helped Sean to sit on steps. What on earth happened? You can tell just by looking. Danny helped Sean to the bottom step. I loitered nearby, unsure what to do. Derek shot me one sidelong look, but otherwise ignored me. Who did this? Never saw his face. Some jerk caught me in town. This is why the two of you are supposed to be in school, to help keep this kind of thing from happening. You can't be in school all the time, Dan. You can at least be here when class is in session. Why were you in town in the first place? Because I hate this place, that's why. You may hate it, but you're safe here. We'd be safe out there too if you could just stop. If you would just help us. Danny shot a look my way, looking decidedly like he didn't want to talk about it with me there. Just because the three of us stick together doesn't mean we're suddenly going to be shielded from this kind of stuff. I keep my head down, that's why I'm not getting beat up on the street. The two of you should do the same. Come on, man, you belong with us. What's it going to take for you to see that? This isn't about clans or... That's exactly what it's about. You think they went after me because it went after me instead of Derek for no reason? He rubbed a hand across his nose, leaving a smear of red on his hand. If we were in a clan, they wouldn't mess with either of us like this. If you didn't pick fights with them, they wouldn't mess with you. Also, just saying. Now, everyone has an agency behind them to scare others off, Dan. You really think you're protecting us because you keep your head down? Everyone knows they're going to have that four-eyed wizard in the library on them if they touch you. Sean stood angrily, limping away. I don't know why I even tried. This is just a start, and no one gives a damn anyway. I'll be the next one to vanish, and no one is going to care. Vanish? Look, we haven't found out who's responsible for the missing wares yet, but we're going to, I guess. You know, the agency doesn't give a damn about a few lone werewolves going missing. Loners? Someone was doing that, and they were going missing? Did that mean they were missing, or were they dead? That was horrifying. Sean stopped alongside me and glared my way. The agency can only shield him for so long. Anyone who cares about him is going to encourage him to do the smart thing. People like us don't do well on their own. I bit my lip. Poor Danny, stuck in this annoying tug of war between these guys and everyone else. He isn't on his own. He has the rest of us. You could too. I mean, if you... He let out a harsh, barking laugh. Nice try, but none of those people care about us. He moved past me and Derek hurried to catch up. Dan was standing by the stairs looking like he wasn't sure what to do. Oh no, we had to cover up when we first met Danny. Silently watch him go. Try to talk to them one more time. Which one would help Danny? Try to talk to them? It's difficult to care about someone who won't let you do it. No offense, Fred, but you've been in this for 2 weeks. Don't act like you have any idea what really goes on. If you think anyone gives a shit about us, you're dead wrong. Derek looked back over his shoulder at me. You're not on your own because we want to be. Oh, we're not on our own, sorry. That's why we need Dan's help. He's the only one we can rely on. Or he should be. And even he doesn't give a shit. He stormed away, limping down the hall. Derek shot me an apologetic look before he followed. Sorry, Red, it's just not as easy as you think. Danny sighed and came to stand next to me. Thanks for trying. I mean, I tried, to be honest. I just wish they'd Then I had to feel like no one cares. You're not going to follow them, Dan? Hey, Elliot! It's been a hot minute since I've last seen you. Mozzie, where'd you come from? I thought you guys might need your books and stuff. He held up both of our book bags. Danny sighed. Even if I go after them, they won't listen. Well, that's true, but still. I know. He started off down the hall after them. Sorry, Michiko. Can you go up to the club with Mozzie and wait until class is over? Yeah, and good luck. Thanks. He left the two of us there. Sean and Derek seemed to be heading for the cafeteria, and Dan was headed that way as well. I thought you didn't even like those two. Well, I don't like the pressure they put on Danny, but I can understand that feeling of isolation. I can understand wanting to cling on to someone who seems to have it together. Sometimes I feel like I'm just clinging on to Danny for the same reason. And if I wasn't around, maybe he wouldn't be so quick to reject the idea of, you know. No offense, but I don't think you're the only reason he rejects the idea of starting some weird official clan with them. I don't even understand why it has to be, what? I don't even understand why it has to be him anyway. Why are all the werewolves in the area so fixated on him? Well, I mean, he's got the whole charisma thing going on, natural leader and all that. Even when he's dealing with his own stuff, he can be such a source of strength for others. I think that's a pretty impressive gift. He just never seems to falter, you know? I think that's why people are drawn to him. He's just a really level-headed and good guy. Even me. I mean, when I first moved here, I was having an identity crisis after finding out I was a vampire. I wasn't getting along with my stepfamily. I was just lost. I met Danny and he really helped me through that, even though he was going through a lot of the same thing. I don't want to cling on to him like those two, but I don't want Danny pushed into anything he's not interested in either. And I don't want anything bad to happen to those guys either. I mean, it's tough. I don't like seeing a classmate all beat up, no matter what. I agree. Come on, we should head up before someone finds us. I glanced down the hall one more time as we headed up, hoping everything would somehow work out. Anyway, what happened with you that made Dan drag you out like that? Oh, you know, the glamour thing again. Makes sense. You know, it's weird, but I keep having these feelings like trying to remember something. Like a memory that I can't just quite recall. I don't know how it's tied into the glamour magic, but it happened that day at lunch too. Feels like everyone has their problems. No kidding. If this glamour thing keeps up, I'm going to have to start wearing a paper bag on my head just to be safe. That would definitely be interesting to see, but I hope it doesn't come to that. Me too. Or I have to start wearing like shower cap or something. I can only imagine what kind of crazy theories Spencer would come up for it. He laughed as we went up to hide in the club until the bell rang. Well, another long and stupid day under my belt. After the incident in literature, how was I supposed to focus for the rest of the day? Between paranoia and about the stupid glamour spells slipping again and worrying about Danny, my day was a bit of a blur. It had been a total waste. Lunch in the courtyard had yielded an interesting conversation with Ewan about glamour. I shut my locker door and reached into my book bag for my journal. I flipped it open to the new section on glamour. I ran my hand down the swirling symbols on the page to find the new parts. Ewan didn't know much about accidental use of glamour specifically, but I had learned about accidental use of magic in general, and glamour in general. Though fairies could actively maintain glamour spells, there were also temporary spells, those that wore off after a while, and a lot of times that had to do with fairy trying to accomplish a specific purpose, usually tricking a human, of course, because fairies were jerks. I'd read about some of that in the books too, incidents of fairies using glamour to disguise leaves as gold, and the glamour would wear off once the gold had already been given as payment, or even more infamously, when they would use glamour to disguise one of their own as a kidnapped baby. That went back to the changeling thing though. At any rate, over time, the glamour would wear off and the baby's appearance would have become more and more distorted as it grew. Ew! There was another pain in my temple and I closed the journal as I rubbed it at my forehead. The stress of all this was definitely not doing much for my head. Anyway, Yoon also used glamour, usually when his head fell off in front of others. It was how he stopped it from being too noticeable, or less dramatically, to hide his pointy ears. I still noticed the points, but he said that fairies can usually see through weak glamour like his. Stronger glamour spells might be noticed by other fairies, but they couldn't necessarily see through them. At any rate, they got us on a long discussion about how students managed to not question other physical quirks like Elliot's eyes, Mark's ears, and such. It had to do with the school itself being enchanted in a way that made those things less noticeable to others or something. but it only worked on small things. So if something crazy happened, like Danny morphing into a wolf mid-chemistry lesson, that would require some memory altering and containment. I didn't really learn anything about that specifically helped me, but it was an interesting conversation anyway. And best of all, Allie told me Violet wanted to chat with me after school about the whole helping out thing. Oh, we gotta save. And I didn't know that it meant he'd say yes, but I was hoping so. But we're gonna save here for today. I feel like the situation is getting tougher for Danny, especially now that Sean got beat up. My glamour is being weird. It's going crazy. I don't know if it's dealing with the whole holiday temporary thingy. How long is this holiday? When are we getting to the holiday? Like, I feel like Halloween hasn't even come yet, and it's been forever in this current state of month. Wait, I don't know how. I currently don't know what day it is. I'm assuming it's like October something. It's not on my journal or anything, and I don't know where to find that information at. But anyway, this is where I'm going to stop for today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.